Order. Call order.
Knight. Alt.
Here.
Genzik. Nichols.
Here.
Bontrager.
Here.
Pavilio.
Here.
Walkley. We do have a quorum.
Okay. And approval agenda.
Alt.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yep.
Genzik. Pavilio.
Yes.
Knight. Walkley. Bontrager.
Yes.
Okay, next is approval of minutes. Motion or comment or addition or deletion?
I move that we approve them.
Have a second.
Second.
Okay. Seconded by Pavilio. Alt.
Yes.
Bontrager.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Pavilio.
Yes.
Okay, we've got that.
Okay, next is up to you.
Great. John, would you please bring up the one slide from the PowerPoint that shows the canopy that we talked about at our January meeting? Okay, if everyone can still hear me, what I basically, what the applicant has done is they have amended their application from the January meeting. The new concept for the projecting sign is at 42 inches, 6 inches inside the extension of the canopy. So it's well inside of that. At 42 inches, it no longer needs a variance approval. It is within the standards, so we're good to go there. Along with that, they have reduced the square footage slightly. It's now just over 13 square feet, 13.06. That is what they have amended and are applying for a variance for. The size at 13.06 for perspective, it is slightly smaller than square footage wise, it is smaller than the one at Clam Lake Beer, certainly smaller than the one at the Cadillac 4 Theater and some others, but it still needs a variance because the ordinance for projecting signs in the B2 district calls for 6 square feet. What I would like to do in your package, you all got a copy of the new concept, so you should know, you know what that looks like from your packet from my staff report. What I want to quickly do is, as I do with all of our meetings here, I just want to read from the zoning ordinance section 4669-2, which is also in the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. And it is what reads, to authorize upon an appeal a variance from the strict application of the provisions of this chapter, where by reason of exceptional narrowness, shallowness, shape, or area of a specific piece of property at the time of enactment of this chapter, or by reason of exceptional conditions of such property, the strict application of the regulations enacted would result in peculiar or exceptional practical difficulties or exceptional undue hardship upon the owner of such property, provided such relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without substantially impairing the intent and purpose of the chapter. I also want to quickly read through the 5 standards. First one is the variance will not impair an adequate supply of light or air to adjacent property. We certainly don't anticipate any impairment to light or air to surrounding properties. Secondly, the requested variance will not unreasonably increase congestion in public streets. We don't think the sign is going to have any impact on traffic congestion because of the dune grass having to have their entrance off of Elk Avenue we certainly anticipate some more traffic on Elk Avenue, but not because of the sign. The next standard is the requested variance will not increase the danger of fire and danger of the public safety. We don't see any issues there. Obviously, for lighting at that back entrance, electrical permits, they're going to have the fire marshal inspect everything. So there's no danger of fire or public safety. And obviously, the fire department is a stone's throw away. Secondly, the staff feels this will not negatively impact neighboring property values. This established property values. This property owner has done a lot of things to improve the appearance of the property outside, the functionality of the property inside, and quite frankly, we are seeing properties in the downtown area, particularly rental rates, are going up. So that's a good sign for our downtown property owners. Lastly, the requested variance is not anticipated to impair the public health, safety, comfort, morals, or welfare of the inhabitants of the city. And we certainly don't see where this is going to impact any of those things within the city. Next, I just want to mention the public notices, of course, were sent out, mailed, and in the paper more than 15 days prior to this hearing. The one property owner who wrote a letter that you received just prior via email, just prior to the January 21st meeting, I actually called him and let him know, sent him a copy of the application with the amended concept to explain that it no longer needed a variance for projection. And he appreciated the phone call, really added nothing else, was just glad that they've changed the concept some. So we've certainly received nothing negative. I did hear from one property owner who just had a couple questions and they thought, boy, this should look nice. So I did hear from one property owner that was in support of it. And lastly, the board action is this zoning board of appeals based on finding of compliance or non-compliance. The board can approve it, approve with conditions, or deny the variance application. Reasonable conditions may be attached to an approval in order to achieve compliance with the standards. That's really all I've got to say. You've all seen the concept. The sign is smaller. They no longer need a variance for the projection. And I guess I'll leave it up to you folks if you have any questions for myself. Tom Amor with Amor Sign is here. Nick Piedmont, the applicant with Dunegrass, he's not available to attend. He had a doctor's appointment, but that's it. Do you have any questions for me? The meeting is yours.
Okay. Is there any questions for Mike? Well, it's not going to go to public comments. Nobody? Okay. Then we just go to the next one. Do I have a motion? Or any questions?
I move that we approve the application.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Mike?
Nichols,
Yes.
Bontrager,
Yes.
Gensick, Walkley, Knight, Pavilio,
No.
Alt.
Yes.
Okay. We have a vote of 3-1. What I will be doing is reading carefully the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act And while we have a majority vote, most things with the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act require a majority vote from the entire 7-person Zoning Board of Appeals. So if I interpret it right, this is at this point with a 3-to-1 vote, it's turned down. But I will tomorrow read the Zoning Enabling Act, and I will double check with the city attorney just to make sure my interpretation is right. And Tom, I'll be getting back with you and Mr. Piedmont also.
Thank you.
Can we ask what the objection is? This is John Klarvik. We own the building and the building next to it.
I still don't see the undue hardship here. I don't see that this is unlike any other sign in the downtown area. So that's my concern.
I don't understand that. What do you mean undue hardship and nothing like another sign? Could you elaborate, please?
Leo, do you mind if I speak briefly?
Go right ahead.
Okay. John, it simply gets into the ordinance specifies 6 square feet. A sign can certainly be designed, built, constructed that would be 6 square feet or smaller. It can be done. It's not something that cannot be done.
I understand that and appreciate your comment, Mike. So we talked about that, and some concerns we have are a couple. One is you have vehicular traffic approaching from the north and the south. We're going to have pedestrian traffic going in and out. Obviously, there's a coffee shop that's going to go upstairs, so we anticipate increased traffic. So from a safety perspective, having a sign that people cannot see could cause issues from a safety perspective. If it doesn't protrude or stick out, if it's flat on the building, they can't see it. You can't see it when you pull into the alley. So we think having the sign that we designed is much safer, number one. And number two, there's already precedence of signs like this being approved in the city. And our sign is smaller than and does not protrude as far as ones that have already been approved.
Correct. I'm not disputing what you're saying, but each case is an individual case.
Yep, I understand that.
And
so I don't understand the hardship comment is really, I'm kind of stuck on that because it is a hardship. If we cannot put a sign to identify the business, that is a hardship. That's a problem.
Well, I do understand your point, but we have many downtown businesses with wall signs that do not have projecting signs. We have many downtown.
Yep, but they also have a Mitchell Street. They also have a Mitchell Street presence where we cannot have a Mitchell Street presence.
Correct, but that was
for this business.
Yeah, and that was part of our city council, part of the ordinance that they wrote.
Can I make a comment? Now, I started my business years ago. I did my garage. I only could have a 2 square foot sign parallel to the street. People had no problem finding me. Now, where I'm at now, on 13th Street, West Division, the sign is a lot bigger. You can't believe the people that can't find me. They drive by 2 or 3 times to find my business. Or I get the question, when they do find me, I didn't know you were there. I drive by you every day and never knew you were here. So, they'll find you. It's not a problem. Your biggest problem, I think, is people find Elk Avenue.
John and Tom, I will be drafting a letter and getting it to you with the what the Michigan Zoning or the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. It specifically says that appeals beyond the Zoning Board of Appeals do require circuit court, but I will get into more detail with that. I'll write a letter and, that letter will be approved or edited by the city attorney. So.
Is there hi, and I apologize, I haven't had the opportunity to speak yet. My name is Eric Piedmont. I'm the Chief Operations Officer at Dunegrass, and as you mentioned earlier in the meeting, my business partner and brother Nick, our Chief CEO, couldn't make it this evening, and I apologize. I'm trying to understand the process here for the ZBA. And as I understand it, we need to have a majority, or your interpretation, Mike, is we need to have a majority vote of the entire council, which would mean 4 votes, which would have meant we would have needed to have 100% of the quorum here tonight. Is there an opportunity to do this in front of the full board, where a 75% vote in our favor would be a pass?
That is what I'm going to double check. My opinion is if the concept were tweaked even some more, yes, but you can't rehear the exact same, appeal. It's, you can't rehear it as is, but I will give you more specific details on that.
Thank you. We're just trying to get open here in April, and
Sure.
got last minute details coming down the pipeline, and would like to get this ironed out and on the wall as quickly as possible, so we can start making some tax revenue for the city of Cadillac.
Yeah, the procedure going forward is 100% following the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act by law.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate your comments, sir.
Anything else? Okay, guess we'll close this part. There's no table items. Public comments. And I guess we'll adjourn.
Thank you for your time, everyone. Have a good week.